Next week, we're going to be joined by Hugh Jackman, star of The Sun, but the film is out this week, so let's talk about it now.
So this is the new film from Florian Zeller and writer Christopher Hampton. They collaborated on The Father. Again, this is a stage play. In The Father, Anthony Hopkins won an Oscar for Best Actor. Surprisingly so, actually. I think he wasn't, I don't know that he was the favourite. So he's back again. He has a cameo in this. So they now have made The Father, The Son, presumably the next one, The Holy Ghost. Thank you very much. Although actually, no, it turns out it'll be The Mother, which is the play with which we've done with. There's talk about doing that as a film with Isabelle Huppert, who I love. So Hugh Jackman is Peter, who is the ex-husband of Laura Dern's Kate and father to teenage Nicholas, played by Zem McGrath. Peter is now married to Beth, played by Vanessa Kirby. Did you interview Vanessa Kirby? No, you didn't. There was a film that Vanessa Kirby was in that I was going to say, did you interview her for a piece?
There you go. Ask a question, you answer it. Perfect.
Thank you very much.
Top journalism.
I've got a job on BBC News now. Anyway, they have a new baby. But at the beginning of the film, as the new baby is put down, Kate, the ex-wife, arrives saying, Nicholas, their teenage son, has been skipping school. Nicholas hates life. He says he can't stand living with his mum. He wants to live with his dad. But it soon becomes clear that he resents his father's new life. He resents his father's new wife. He resents his father's new young child. He is struggling with depression, with self-harm. And amidst his rage, he ends up blaming everyone else, including his own father, whose rage is then somehow transferred back as this becomes like a sort of cycle of aggression. Here is a clip.
Take back what you just said, Nicholas. Do you hear me? You take back what you just said now.
Asshole!
Me? An asshole? Me? Haven't I always done everything for you? I stayed with your mother for years for your sake. So why are you saying this? Why? Why? Tell me why. Is it because I fell in love with another woman? Is that my crime? How is that any of your business? I have the right to reinvent my life. Fuck, it's my life, you hear me? It is my life! I'm sorry, Nicholas. I don't know what just happened.
Should say he kind of wrestles with his son, and son falls on the floor.
Yeah. Also, there was obviously that clip is slightly edited for
family listening.
For family listening. So you're interviewing Hugh Jackman for next week's show, and it's a very fine performance by Hugh Jackman. It's got depth, and you believe in the character. In fact, actually, all the performances are pretty solid. The elephant in the room is that the film is dealing with a subject which is a very difficult subject matter to deal with without, getting things wrong. Peter tells Nicholas at one point that he must not hurt himself. And he says, why do you hurt yourself? And Nicholas, who has been self-harming, says, I'm not hurting myself. It doesn't inflict pain. It releases pain. And I remember when I heard that line, I thought, okay, you know this subject. There is a dedication at the end of the film. The film is dedicated for Gabriel. I just did a little bit of searching. Here is what Florian Zeller said about it. There is a dedication at the end of the film, and it is to Gabriel, my son. It took me a while to make that decision. Is it fair not to do that? Because it was about trying to go against the shame. I feel that there's a lot of shame around these topics, and I wanted to have an open conversation. So I felt maybe I should be the first one not to be ashamed and to open the door. All of which is, it's clearly personal and it's admirable. The problem is that the film, and I presume the play, which I haven't seen, I don't think is good enough to come off as not mere melodrama. I mean, compare this, for example, to Nanni Moretti's The Son's Room, which is about a couple coming to terms with the loss of a child. I mean, the thing is that the central subject about depression and anxiety and self-harming, self-destructive feelings. This does need to be talked about. It is a discussion that we need to have about how it affects people, how it affects the people around the people, particularly young people, how those relationships play out. I think that subject requires a deft touch that this doesn't have. That is not to say that there are not things in it that are valid. I mean, the performances are good. There is a cameo from Anthony Hopkins, which is barnstorming as the father of the son. So there's the whole thing about who is the son in the title.
And that scene that we just played, if I remember right, comes immediately after Hugh Jackman has had an altercation with his father.
Yes, in which you see in the encounter with his father, you sort of see everything played out because his father. It's not a plot spoiler. I don't think his father says, "Get over it, just get over it." I think that the things that are good fall prey to the things that are problematic, which is it succumbs to dramatic contrivance, to stagey contrivance, and I think that the finale absolutely falls very, very solidly into that. But I'll say this again: this subject of depression, of self-harming, of anxiety, is something which needs to be addressed without shame, and is something which needs to be addressed more openly. I think this isn't up to the task, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't attempt and sometimes get it. There is some things in it that you go, yeah, that's right.
Hugh Jackman will be on the programme next week. Thanks very much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed watching it as much as we enjoyed making it. While you're here, check out all the other videos because they're cool too, aren't they?
Yeah, and if you want to keep up to date with everything Kermode and Mayo's Take, then check out our social channels.
I mean, why wouldn't you?
I mean, I would. I have done.
Excellent.